Time to start my journey into the Tamiya two-wheel drive competition buggies. Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So under normal circumstances, this would have just been like an introduction of an unboxing video. But things have changed since I ordered this car. So I'm going to have a little bit of a story time at the beginning of this. And then we'll get to the actual unboxing of the Super Astute. So, yeah, where do you start with this? So, I'll backtrack slightly. I wanted a really decent Tamiya two-wheel drive car for a runner for me. Now, because a lot of you guys know I'm getting into the TRF off-road scene, I really wanted a TRF 201. But for some reason now, they're getting harder to find, and more importantly, they're getting very expensive. So that's kind of put me off slightly, so I kind of gave up on that. Then went for the Dynastorm, or I wanted a Dynastorm, but again, just way too expensive, and they do not come up very often. Even the Riri one, you know. So I tried to get hold of both of those buggies for a long period of time now, and anyway, I gave up on it. So I thought, what is the next best thing you can get? Now, obviously, it's a Super Astute. Now, I've got to be honest, and this might surprise a few of you. Normally, when I get these kits on, I'm like, oh, I'm super excited to get this kit. It's something that, I've always liked Super Astute. I'm not a lover of it. Now, that's based on looks. I don't like the box art on this car at all. Now, shape-wise, this is identical to the original Astute. And I absolutely adore the original. The colour, the box art, the yellow CVS shocks, I absolutely love it. This thing's never floated my boat, if I'm honest. But this is way better car than the original Astute. So it makes sense to get it. So I was kind of humming and hawing, what am I going to do with this? It was never going to be box art because I didn't like it. So I thought, okay. So I pulled the trigger. I ordered this kit from eBay. I then ordered a new set of TRF aeration shocks for it. And I thought, okay, that gives it a bit more of a modern look. So I ordered some TRF stickers. What else did I get? I got some blue wheel nuts, because you've got to have those. And then I started thinking of a paint scheme design. Now, I thought, right, what we'll do is, because you're not going to get a Dynastorm or a TRF 201, so I thought we'll go full TRF paint scheme on this shell in the true, white, pink and blue TRF colours. And I thought, that's going to look pretty badass with the aeration shocks and stuff. So I'd absolutely made my mind up. That's what I was going to do. As I said, ordered everything. A week after I'd ordered this, and this is how these things work, on our Tamiya Legends sales group, an ad comes on, and it was just pure luck. I was at the right place at the right time. Somebody posted an ad for a TRF 201 for, I think it was about 180 or 190 euros. The thing's only been run twice. It's in mint condition, some spares with it, and it looks pretty cool. I was like, I've no money. Completely out of Tamiya tokens because it had all gone on this, and I'm like, oh my goodness, but I have to have it. So anyway, contacted the guy, did the deal with him, and that's actually winging its way to me from Germany right now as we speak. So I was like, well, that's just awesome. But it really put me off this car. I was like, well, what are you going to do with that? Because I don't want too many TRF kind of box art cars, because individually they look awesome, but when you've got quite a few of them in your collection, they all look very similar because of the same colours, and I don't want that. And I've got the Durga, I've got the DF03 MS, the DTO2 MS. They all look very similar, so I've got 3 finished, but I've also got the TRF 503 to go to that. And then, as I say, now it was going to be this, but now the 201. So I was like, you can't do the TRF on this anymore. So I thought, just park this, because obviously I'd only just ordered it, and I'll think and something will come to me what I'm going to do with it. 2 days after that, a Dynastorm. I'm chatting to Danny. Shout out to Danny if you're watching. I'm just chatting about something completely different on Messenger, and it turns out he's got a Dynastorm for sale, a Riri, top condition, got an original shell. Again, I'm like, I really have to have this. So basically I begged, stole and borrowed and as I'm making this video, I'm just sort of almost finished the deal with him. He's waiting for some decals to arrive for it from MCI, and then he's going to sell me it. So from ordering this, thinking that's all I'm going to have, I've now got this which turned up. I've got a TRF 201 and a Dynastorm. So this is what this video is about. It's going to really allow me to get heavily into the two-wheel drive scene, which I am super excited about, I have to be honest. I'll talk about the Dynastorm and the TRF 201 when they arrive, because I've got big plans for how I'm going to do those, and they're not going to be standard. They're going to be a little bit special. So anyway, that's for another video. So back to this. So this was not this, but the Astute was Tamiya's first true competition two-wheel drive off-road buggy. Now I've written it down. The original Astute was part number 58080 in 1989. That ran for about 2 years, or just under 2 years. In 1991, the Super Astute came out on part number 58097. Now, the difference is from the Astute to this car. Visually, they don't look that big. As I say, the shell, the wings, exactly the same. But chassis-wise, this has got supposed to have some big improvements, mainly the gearbox. I should have done my research, but I'm not 100% sure if the original Astute had a slipper clutch. I'm thinking it might not have done, which was a big problem on the gearbox. Whereas on the Super Astute, they went to, oh my goodness, what's it called? The TTC gearbox, which stood for Tamiya Traction Control. Slipper clutch, basically. The battery on the original Astute went across the car, whereas on the Super Astute, it runs down the car. They gave it, obviously, this new box art design, all white with these fancy decals. They took away the yellow CVAs, which I loved, and put like these gunmetal grey ones on. Don't like them at all. And a different set of wheels and tyres. So, but chassis-wise, it's better, but it's not a Dynastorm, obviously. So that's kind of where I'm going. So before we get into this, this is what I wanted to explain, because this is a series of videos that's going to be coming to you now. Because once they all arrive, and I get them built, and I get the paint jobs done on them, and everything I want to have them visually looking right, then I'm going to be left with a Super Astute, a Dynastorm, TRF 201, and I've also got the DT02 MS. So I've got 4 pretty cool two-wheel drive buggies. Now you might not say the DT02 MS is a competition two-wheel drive buggy, but it's a very good chassis and it handles great. And obviously I've got the MS version, so it's a little bit specced up. So I'm going to have 4 of these top two-wheel drive buggies that when I get to the running side of it, we can do some really good comparisons. And this is all about learning for me. I'm happy with my four-wheel drive stuff. I've run them all. I know how they compare to each other, but two-wheel drive, I have absolutely no idea. So that's going to be really cool. So that's enough dribble from me. Let's get into this thing. So as I said, I'm not a lover of how the thing looks, but the box art is absolutely class, as always, by Tamiya. I've again not done the research, so I don't know how much the Riri box differs. What I should have said actually was this kit came out in 2019 on part number 47381. Yeah, looking at that, it looks cool, but when I look at pictures of built ones and that, it just doesn't really do it for me, unfortunately. Right, so that's what it looks like with the lid off, which looks pretty cool. So what you might see straight away is when I ordered the kit, I also ordered the full bearing kit for it. Now, believe it or not, this kit has 34 bearings in it, which has absolutely blown me away. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different sizes. So yeah, I'm kind of keen to see where all those go, if I'm honest, because you know, if a four-wheel drive car had that many bearings, I'd be pretty surprised. But for a two-wheel drive, that's an insane amount. So anyway, we've got them. Now let's talk about the shell first off, because this is going to be a little bit of a special part about this car. So let me just see if I can get the under tray away from it. So bog standard Super Astute under tray. Now interestingly, these have dates on them. I know this has been said on other YouTube channels, but yeah, the mould, I don't know if you can see that on there, but it says just down here, it says 1989 Tamiya. So this is the exact same mould used on the original Astute. Now, whether the plastic's been thickened, the Lexan and polycarbonate's thicker than the original, I'm guessing it probably is. But the reason I'm kind of rushing, this has just landed here, but the reason I'm kind of rushing this is because the body shell, under tray and the wing are now going to get packed off, and they're going to be sent to the UK for my friend Craig to paint, who's painted a few of my shells now. At the end of this video, I'll tell you what I've actually decided to do with this, and there's a couple of tweaks we're going to make to it, which I think are going to look pretty cool. Nothing, I thought that was a box, but it's actually not. It's just a department. There we have the egress wing, which is pretty straightforward. And then let's have a look at these decals. Now, colour wise, they look superb, don't they? I have to say, they do look really, really good. But again, for some reason, it doesn't quite do it for me. So I'm going to have these left over at the end of it, which is nice. We might get to use them on something else one day. I'm not going to give you a big spiel about what's in here. I'm just going to show you certain stuff because you get what it is. So the wheels and tyres, same colour, obviously narrow fronts, the Star Dish I think they're called, and then we've got the tyres. Now these are the square spike top force rear tyre. Now if I can show you the fronts, because this was the first car I believe that came with this front tyre, which I don't know what you call it, ribbed, spiked. So you've got this big rib down the inside and then spikes on the outside. I'm pretty certain this was the first car that this front tyre was used on, and then it also went on the Dynastorm as well. So that's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, I think I'll leave the unboxing at that because you know what's in there. There's nothing too exciting yet. So let's put this back in the box and talk about how this thing's going to look. Right, so let's talk about what this is going to look like, because that's the most important thing to me. Running them is secondary. Probably got that the wrong way around to most of you guys watching, but never mind. So as I said, I went through different steps. We started with the TRF, full TRF looking car. Then when the 201 came along, I thought, right, we can't do that anymore. Too many pink cars. So if you've seen my TRF style egress that Craig painted me, it's the design of TRF, and it's got the white and the blue, but instead of having the pink, it has like a lime yellow, and it looks superb. And it could be one of my favourite cars. It's that good that, and I'm normally a box art man, it's that good that it's in my display with that shell on and not the box art shell. So that tells you how much I like it. So I thought, let's do that on this one. But the only thing that was putting me off was, because it's the same wing, it's the egress wing, I thought I'm going to have two cars that are going to look very, very similar. Although the shells are different shape, but because it's going to be the same colours with the same wing, I was like, that might not look the best. So I was humming and hawing about that. And then I had an idea of, and shout out to Martin Gordon, if you're watching, he posted on our group, he made a Super Astute to look like the original Astute. So obviously just painted it wing and shell red, got Super Astute decals for it. But what he put on it was the egress front and back wheels and tyres. Now obviously that's 4-wheel drive. So he bought, I don't know what they're actually called, but it's a 2-wheel drive hex conversion, so you can use 4-wheel drive front wheels. So you get the hex to fit them on, and within the hex it has 2 bearings to go on the axle. Now I have read up on these before, and they need a little bit of fettling, bit of spacers, bit of adjustment to make them work. But that's what he put on his Astute, and it looks absolutely superb. He was lucky enough to find yellow CVAs for it as well, which that's a must if you're doing that. Or worst case, if you can't find yellow CVAs, stick high caps on. using TRF variation shocks with the original shell would look pants in my opinion. Anyway, so I ordered those hex adjusters, so they're on the way to me, and as I say, I've got a set of egress wheels and tyres brand new just sitting around not doing anything. So I thought, right, that's an option. Anyway, last night I thought, I've got to send this away tonight, I need to make my mind up. So I've settled on this, definitely going to have the same paint job as my egress. So it's going to be the TRF scheme, but it's going to be white and the blue, and instead of the pink, it's going to be that yellow lime. I may change the wing colours slightly. The colours will be the same, but I may well, as before this gets to UK, just change maybe what the colour of the side of the wings are. Instead of being blue, I might go white. I don't know. I've got to figure it out. And a white under tray with the TRF variation shocks. But then I decided to keep these wheels on because I think the correct wheels and tyres will look good, and the white wheels with that colour scheme should work with the colour of the shocks as well. So yeah, that's going to be cool. But we're also going to have the option when it's finished that we'll check out those hexes and put the egress wheels and tyres on, because that really makes the front end a lot beefier looking with the wider front tyres. So that's the plan right now. So this Lexan now is getting boxed up and sent to the UK in the next hour, and then I'll have to forget about it for I don't know, 5-6 weeks. Craig's also got said I wasn't going to talk about this, but Craig's also got my TRF 201 shell. Now the car's only just been sent to me, but I ordered this. I've seen a special shell I want for it. It's not made by Tamiya, but it is for the TRF 201 by a Japanese manufacturer. And I saw it and I was like, that is amazing. So I've ordered it, got one in the UK, that's been sent to Craig, and he's now got that with a wing for it. So he's working on that. By the time he's probably getting towards the end of that, this one will arrive. And I may well have a third shell or a third car that I want him to paint, but I haven't even got that car yet. So anyway, basically what I'm saying is these are a way off me getting completed, but it's nice to get all my chess pieces in order, if that makes sense. When I buy a car, this is weird, and I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this. When I'd given up on a 201 and a Dynastorm and I went to this, I was 100% focused on this and what I'm going to do to it, and I became very comfortable with that, and I was like, right, that's done. And then when these other cars came along, it really kind of messed with my head what I was going to do with this, and it's weird how my brain operates. I've got to be 100% comfortable with how this is going to look at the end in my head. If I'm humming and hawing about it, then I don't do it. I'm a strange guy. Anyway, guys, I've rattled on enough, but this is just more about, if you are still watching, there's some really good two-wheel drive Tamiya competition style buggies content coming up on this channel, which I am really looking forward to. Seasons are against us right now. We're coming into the winter season, which, as you guys know, I'm over in Canada, which is long. So, you know, we may have to wait to the new year before we get these out properly, running them in anger and doing comparisons. But never mind, it's all about getting them finished first of all. So now I'm going to shut up, guys, I promise. So once again, thanks so much for watching. It's really appreciated. If you are new to this channel, if you could please consider liking and subscribing to support us. And if you do that, smash that notification bell for our weekly videos. And as always, guys, happy arseeing.